Good morning, everyone. It's L Trades, and this is the 27th of March 2022 market update. I haven't done this in a while, but it is time as things are getting very, very interesting in markets. Now, I had a stream 2 days ago, so I thought I'd start introducing you guys back to the fact that I'm going to be more active now, especially because, whether we go up or down, I think the market's going to get more volatile, and it's important that you guys know, or at least that you guys are kept up with what's happening in the world and in the macro sphere. So, first thing first, as we always do, let's jump straight into BTC. Last time we were talking with the stream was around the same area. BTC still at resistance. Very nice accumulation going on ever since we hit the harmonic 34k bottom, whereas the invasion of Ukraine was announced at the same time. And then ever since then, we've just been ranging between these very, very strong resistances and supports. Now, we are at resistance. We're kind of going sideways. We'll go into the 4 hour later. But on the daily, there is no bearish signs. It's, we're still in positive momentum territory. Maybe we start to wane, but there is no bearish divergence. None of that at all. In fact, there's very good convergence between the indicators, which means it's just copying the price action, so it doesn't mean anything. In fact, there was bearish divergence or slight 2 days ago on the RSI, but it got invalidated, and now you're even starting to build hidden bullish divergence on BTC on the 4 hour. So the thing is, if it keeps going sideways, if it keeps consolidating below resistance, that's bullish, okay? Now, of course, you don't want to start longing resistances. Even I, as I announced on Twitter and my stream, am starting to take some profit around these areas just because it's, we've had a position since about 34th and 38th edition, so it's a good area to start taking profit. What you really want to wait for, of course, is a breakout of this very strong supply area, which ends at about 46k, and maybe a back test. That'll be very beautiful. It'll be more accumulation, and finally, it would usher in an ultimate higher high on these local highs. So, yeah, pretty good news. We can definitely retrace, as it is still a resistance. We can even go back down to 40, like 41, 40k. That wouldn't surprise me. But it is very interesting to see pretty good strength right under that very strong resistance. It is also important to inverse the chart once in a while, because our brains, our emotions have been conditioned to be bearish. And it's very important to notice that, because if you're conditioned to be bearish and you're looking at what looks like a bullish chart, your brain is actually going to try and pick apart and find bearish signs. So you might not even see this as bullish, whereas technically, objectively, overall it is. So flipping the chart actually balances your biases, because you're seeing both sides, and now you can realize that the inverse actually looks insanely bearish. All you have here is a bearish harmonic, lower highs, continuous lower highs into the exact same support. These supports, how many times can they get tapped before they lose before they lose, And the thing is, of course, like I said, we can retrace to 30 to 40, so like 40, maybe 39, who knows? But I don't believe we just keep ranging back to 38 and below. And even if we do go to 38, we pretty much bounce back, because there is so much buying pressure around 37, 38k. So that is, let me flip it back. That is BTC for you. There you go. Now let's move on to the SPX. The reason we look at the SPX, as some of you may know, is because it's pretty much the world mover, right? The world market movers. And BTC is still very much correlated to it. That's where you will realize that BTC has been running up with the SPX, while the SPX has actually been technically doing a bit better as well. I'll show you a chart after this. This may be a longer update because it's very interesting things. So unfortunately, the SPX does have bearish divergence, though it does have hidden bullish divergence on the MACD. So it really depends on whether it, breaks this resistances here. That's for another time. Overall, you have a daily or a pretty big falling wedge breakout, and you're above the 200-day, so it is still bullish, but you just, on the 4-hour, you just have this bearish divergence, so maybe we can retrace, which would ultimately make sense, as it would also cause BTC to reject the resistance once again. But if this just shoots back up, with the hidden bullish divergence, goes positive MACD and BTC breaks 46K, don't be surprised if we start seeing quick run-ups to like 50K BTC and above. Now we want to look at Total 2 because we want to know what's going to happen with altcoins, right? Are they going to underperform? Are they going to overperform BTC and the rest of the market? Well, the good news is alts, or Total 2, are building hidden bullish divergence very, very, very clearly, and they still have the ultimate target of around 1.29 or 1.3 trillion from this descending triangle breakout. There you go, descending triangle right there. This doesn't mean that it's just going to run up from here, okay? It's run up quite a lot from the double bottom that we showed a while back, and you can definitely start to retrace, maybe go sideways before heading to the target. But you got to realize that, if you're holding alts or trading alts leverage especially, just because this is overly bullish, if Total 2 just goes down like this much, 5, maybe even 10%, your altcoin positions are going to get destroyed. So yes, the overall structure is bullish, but you can't be like, hey Eld, you told me it's bullish and then I lost like all my money because one alt went down. No, you don't want to be in leverage when something looks like this and it's already ran up a lot. You want to be in spot, you want to accumulate. There is one more chart I want to show you because we already looked at BTC and SPX. I want to show you BTC as a ratio to SPX. This is a very, very interesting chart, ladies and gentlemen, because it is a beautiful ascending triangle. It's constantly tapping the resistance, and because it's BTC ratio to SPX, and we know that the SPX is pretty much the most bullish asset in the world, risk to reward ratio, and if BTC is bullish, it means that BTC is even more bullish than the SPX. Sorry, if BTC SPX is bullish, it means that BTC is more bullish than the SPX, which overall means BTC is the most bullish asset in the world. Now, of course, it hasn't been alive as long as the SPX, but I would say 12 years is a good amount of data. And if people think that this will be the bubble, something that has lasted this long, they think now it's going to be the bubble, when the whole world, you're seeing countries, you're seeing congressmen and women, politicians, you're seeing elites, you're seeing firms. Look at this. If I go to Goldman Sachs, Goldman Sachs, one of the biggest investment banks in the world, and banks, look at their front page. Digitalization, right? From cryptocurrency to the metaverse. They know. They're smart. They know that this is the direction that we are going at. So now you're seeing Goldman Sachs, one of pretty much the biggest player in the world, or the second biggest player in the world in banking and investment banking. This is their front page. What do you think this means, guys? It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter if BTC drops to 20K. It doesn't matter if it drops to 10K. It doesn't even matter if it goes to 60K. This will be the future. I didn't want to turn this. I didn't want to turn this session into a passionate, let's say, a passionate outcry for crypto on BTC. But I just can't hold back the fact that Goldman Sachs and all these other firms and countries are accumulating, and not even accumulating, but stating that that is the direction they're heading. and people are still finding bearish excuses, and it's beyond me. Anyways, so BTC is at resistance. Overall structure is bullish, but don't be surprised if it retraces to 40k or maybe 41 before going back up. I'm personally bullish, but you know, that doesn't mean much in this case. SPX is in the same case, like it's got bearish divergence, but overall structure is bullish. BTC to SPX is ascending triangle, so it's very bullish, of course, unless it breaks down, which is unlikely. And yeah, everything, like yeah, total 2 is making hidden bullish divergence, so altcoins are looking okay. But of course, they've run up so much that it's not the smartest idea to start entering them heavily. And yeah, that is today's market update, guys. And I'll see you next one. Good luck, and don't give your money back to the markets. Bye-bye.